Hi, this is the fourth continuation video for example sums where the issue is oversubscribed. In this video, we will deal with the preparation of balance sheet of the company where the issue is oversubscribed. So let's go on to the example sum. Example sum. Kirloskar Limited issued 20,000 shares of rupees 10 each, payable rupees 4 on application, rupees 3 on allotment, and rupees 3 on first and final call. Applications were received for 25,000 shares. The company decided to allot 20,000 shares on pro rata basis, and surplus of application money was adjusted for allotment money due. We are asked to show share capital in the balance sheet of the company and prepare the notes to accounts for share capital. So let's go ahead with the solution. We will leave space for the preparation of the balance sheet and go ahead with preparation of notes to accounts. We have particulars and a rupee column. The first note is share capital. We'll begin with authorized capital. There is no mention about the authorized capital, so it's dash shares of rupees 10 each. XXX with a double underline. We'll go on to issued capital. $20,000 shares of rupees 10 each. 2 lakh rupees with a double underline. We'll go on to subscribed capital. Now, though there has been oversubscription on shares, at the time of preparation of the balance sheet of the company, as per pro rata basis, the excess application money would have been adjusted towards allotment money due and the call money would have been received. So the final number of shares which is allotted by the company, Kirloskar Limited, will be 20,000 shares, for which the full amount has been called up and as well as the full amount has been received. So shares will be classified as subscribed and fully paid up. $20,000 shares of rupees 10 each. Outer column 2 lakh rupees. And the amount to be shown as share capital in the balance sheet is also rupees 2 lakh. Let's go ahead with the note number 2. Cash and cash equivalents. We have cash at bank. The company would have received rupees 2 lakh as cash. Let's go ahead and prepare the balance sheet of the company. Balance sheet of Kirloskar Limited as at 31st March. The year is not specified, so we'll put a dash. We have particulars, note number and amount. We have Roman number 1, equity and liabilities. We have 1, shareholders funds. Under that, A is share capital. Against note number 1, we have the amount of share capital, which we arrived at rupees 2 lakh. The total of the equity and liability side of the balance sheet is also rupees 2 lakh. Roman number 2, assets. We have 1, current assets. And under that, A, cash and cash equivalents. Against note number 2, we have the amount of cash at bank, which is rupees 2 lakh, and the total of the asset side of the balance sheet is also 2 lakh rupees. So we completed the solution. I'll remove the split and we can view the entire answer. So that's the sum on top. The balance sheet, which is the solution, and the notes to accounts for share capital and cash equivalents. Let's go on to the second example sum. The next example sum. On 1st April 2019, Prarthala Limited was formed with an authorized capital of rupees 90 lakh divided into 90,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each. The company invited applications for 80,000 equity shares. The amount was payable as follows: rupees 30 per share on application, rupees 40 per share on allotment, and the balance amount on the first and final call. Applications for 1 lakh shares were received. Applications for 20,000 shares were rejected, and the application money was refunded. All the calls were made. A shareholder holding 600 shares did not pay the first and the final call. We are asked to show share capital in the balance sheet of the company as per Schedule 3, Part 1 of the Companies Act 2013 as at 31st March 2020. So let's go ahead with the solution. Solution. We leave space for the balance sheet and go on to prepare the notes to accounts. Notes to accounts. We have particulars and a rupee column. The first note is share capital. We'll begin with the authorized capital. Authorized capital The authorized capital is 90,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each, which is 90 lakh rupees, with a double underline. Let's go on to the issued capital. Issued capital. Number of shares issued by the company is 80,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each, which is 80 lakh rupees, with a double underline. Let's go on to subscribed capital. There's been oversubscription of shares. Though the company has issued only 80,000 equity shares, the company received applications for 1 lakh equity shares. The company has rejected 20,000 shares and refunded the application money which was received on these 20,000 equity shares. So the company has allotted 80,000 equity shares. Now we need to analyze whether the shares will come under subscribed and fully paid up or subscribed but not fully paid up. Out of the shares which have been allotted, apart from 600 shares, for the balance shares, which is 80,000 minus 600 shares, the full money has been called up and also the full money has been received. So these 79,400 shares will be classified as subscribed and fully paid up. We have 79,400 equity shares of rupees 100 each. This is classified under subscribed and fully paid up. So we have 79,40,000 rupees under subscribed but not fully paid up. We will classify the 600 shares for which, though the full amount has been called up, the first and the final call has not been received by the company. So it's 600 equity shares of rupees 100 each, fully called up. The amount is 600 multiplied by 100, which is 60,000, less calls in arrears. The amount of calls in arrears is 600 shares multiplied by the amount of the final call, which is 30 rupees. So we have 18,000 rupees as calls in arrears, and in the outer column it's 60,000 rupees minus 18,000 rupees calls in arrears, coming up to 42,000 rupees. So the total amount that needs to be shown against share capital in the balance sheet is 79,82,000 rupees. We'll go on to prepare the second note, cash and cash equivalents. against cash in bank, we will show the amount which has been received by the company, which is 79,82,000 rupees. Let's go on top and complete the balance sheet. Balance sheet of Prarthana Limited as at 31st March 2020. We have the particulars column, note number, and the rupee column. We'll begin with Roman number 1, equity and liability. We have 1, shareholders' funds. And under that, A, share capital. Against note number 1, we have the amount to be shown against share capital, and we have arrived at the amount of 7,82,000 rupees. And the total of the equity and liability side of the balance sheet is also 79,82,000 rupees. We'll go on to the second part of the balance sheet, Roman number 2, assets. We have 1, current asset. And under that, A, cash and cash equivalents. The amount of cash and cash equivalents as per note 2 is 79,82,000 rupees. And the total of the asset side of the balance sheet is also 79,82,000 rupees. We completed the balance sheet. I'll remove the split. We can view the full answer. So that's the example sum at the top. Followed by the balance sheet. And the notes to accounts.